listening sections would be an accurate way of determining your proficiency of a language. So I actually wanted to see how good my Mandarin was. So I thought that taking the 4 skills would be the best way to determine if my Mandarin was good. I think that input is the easy part, but to produce an output is more difficult. So I didn't want to see that my reading and listening was very good, but maybe my writing was bad, because I think daily chatting and when you actually write something, they're totally different things, I think.
Okay, and now we will want you to share your experience of taking the test and you preparing the test. And can you tell us that having the certificate of our test, is that any helpful to you?
Sure, I think it was, well, in the beginning, I wanted to be, I was planning to take a course to teach Mandarin. So I was told that if I wanted to apply for the course, I had to present this test. In the end, I didn't apply for the course, but with the result, I think that one, it's a plus. Well, first, it was personal recognition. I think that with the result, I was very happy with the result. It gave me a lot of confidence. And another thing was that it's a plus for my job. I'm actually an English teacher. So I think that that certificate was actually a big plus for me, because my students can actually know that this teacher is fluent in both languages and they could actually help you. So I think for people who would like to teach either English or Mandarin in Taiwan, I think that having the certificate is a bonus for you.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of
Vivian, I believe you have the slides to share with us.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I will share my. Okay.
Do you still remember how it feels when you're taking the test?
I think I can still recall that I was pretty nervous that day. I was trembling when I was trying to answer the speaking questions. It definitely feels very different from just talking with someone. So I was worried that I didn't sound very formal, but okay. Okay. Can everyone see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So like I was saying, that it was personal recognition and it was a plus for my job. And also I wanted to see, to determine my proficiency in a more accurate way. So I would say that these were some of the benefits that this test bring for me. Before the test, I actually, like I just mentioned, I actually had a habit of reading Mandarin since I was little. And since I was little, I would say that I think I was kind of forced by my dad to read Mandarin, to memorize the words, to recognize the words. So I had a lot of input. And I also had a lot of output because I had to speak Mandarin at home. So I had a lot of output. But I think the most important thing, if you want to speak fluently, I think that you need to have a great deal or great amount of output. So if you actually live in Taiwan, or if you live in a Mandarin speaking country, I think that you should seize the opportunity to speak up. The more you speak, the more fluent you will be. And I think that's in any languages. You need to have a lot of output, because it's easy to have an input by watching videos or watching news. And so that's very easy. But to have an output, I think that's the harder part. But it's also very important. Another thing I did was I looked up some sample questions on the internet, but there weren't many examples. There were many sample questions, and so, but I had to take a look to get an idea of what the test was about and how they did the test. And that's how I got to know that. That's why I was nervous, because I realized that, oh, it's actually more formal than I thought than it was. So I had to practice that, how to present my answers in a formal way. Okay. Some of the areas I would say to be aware of, or to remember, is that, well, stick to the topic, right? stick to the topic. If they ask you questions like what do you like eating, then you shouldn't be answering what you don't eat, or the things that are not related to the topic. But the second one is the one that I consider important, to express yourself as much as you can. And that means in the test, I believe that the purpose of the test is not just showing how great your Mandarin is, but more importantly, it is to show the person that your Mandarin is good enough to share your own opinions and to talk about your own thoughts. So it is important. I mean, it doesn't matter if you know a lot of technical terms or if you know a lot of difficult words, but if you don't know how to put them together in an organized way, I think it makes no sense. So in the test, I think that you should fully express yourself as much as you can, even though maybe you don't know the hard words or difficult words. But if you can put your thoughts together in an organized way, I think that would be good enough. And of course, don't be nervous, right? Not to be nervous. But I think this is pretty hard. Don't be nervous. It's pretty hard. So lastly, how to prepare for the test. I strongly believe that if you want to speak better and fluently, and also you want to speak formally, especially for this test, the first thing you need to do is to expand your vocabulary, right? So you can actually say, you know, more words, and you know more precise words to express yourself, and that is through reading. But we know that sometimes reading off a book, it's not exactly the same as reading off a real life material like newspaper or news, online articles. So I think it's very important to maintain that reading habits to expand your word list. The second thing is to keep yourself updated with the latest news, because in the test, they actually don't ask you about daily life things like what do you like doing with your friends. They actually ask you particular topics. So I would say to keep yourself with the latest news. I don't quite remember the questions that they asked me at that time, but I did remember they had a question in the writing test asking if I would support the idea of sending my parents to a nursing home. So they don't really ask you questions like, what are your hobbies? I don't think, especially if you are taking Band B or Band C, I don't think they will be asking you those type of questions. Constantly practice your 4 skills. And of course, I think the last one, very important, is to, sorry, I thought I lost it. To increase the exposure to the language, to enhance your fluency. It is really important, especially when you want to speak fluently in any languages, is to increase your exposure. So if you're in Taiwan, I would really, really say that to please take this opportunity to speak the language. When you go out, you can actually just use the language to enhance your fluency.